Restoring Men in History. Who was Alexander the Great? What does it take to chase greatness, to become legendary? At 20, get this, Alexander had inherited a small kingdom. By 30, he had conquered the world, from Greece to India, and it was an empire bigger than any before him. He was a man, but he forged himself. What did he do that through? We talk about this all the time. We talk about the internal virtues, what makes a man. He forged himself through what? Resilience, courage, ambition. So we're going to go through his life, but not just tell his story, because we can't tell all of it. We're going to uncover life lessons for you that you can apply to your life today. Book today is The Life of Alexander the Great by Plutarch. It's an ancient text, really old one. And I think Alexander became a great example of what a man can achieve, and especially through these virtues. And I think I'm going to add some challenges as I go and actions you can take and see where you can go with this, how you can rise with this. Can you do it like Alexander in some ways with his virtues? So, dream beyond your limits. Now, we talk about this a lot as well, so that's probably why you're hearing it. So let's talk about ambition. Setting goals we've talked about, right? Ambition. Alexander was born in Macedon. It was sneered at by the Greeks. His father was Philip. He had built a strong army. But no one thought this little kingdom could challenge Persia, which Persia at the time was the superpower. Consider that the big superpower of today, Persia. But, and this is where you got to dream big. Remember the Tom Cruise video? He was dreaming big. Dream big. Alexander dreamed bigger. At just 12, he showed the world what he was made of. And there was this story of a horse that I liked always, and we're going to tell it. And this horse was untamed. It was very wild. It was brought to Philip, Alexander's father. All these different men tried to ride it. They tried to tame it. They could not do it. Philip was going to send the horse away. But Alexander saw something none of the other men noticed. The horse was spooked by his own shadow. He bet he could tame it. Can he do it? Turned the horse into the sun and rode him like he was born for it. His father was stunned, and we have a quote here from the book. "O my son, look thee out a kingdom equal and worthy of thyself, for Macedonia is too little for thee." That's his father after he saw it. And his father was amazed if you read the story. So you like this subject and you want to join our community of men chasing greatness, subscribe, like, and comment on what your favorite thing is in the video or what your goal is going to be. So that moment that you just heard wasn't about a horse really, was it? It was about a man conquering, right? It was about a man noticing something no one else noticed. Are you noticing things in life? And it was also, what does his father say? What was the quote? Alexander kind of declaring he'd outgrown his world, right? And his father noticed that. And he did. He conquered Persia, Egypt, India. So think about this. What is your large goal today? What do you really want to conquer? Your town? Your job? What do you want to do? And your doubts, your internal, right? We always talk about the internal here. Do you have doubts, fears that you need to conquer? Are they holding you back? So what is holding you back? And if you write that in the comments, we'll look at it. So Alexander teaches us a lot here. What does he teach us? Started out what? No one thought much of Macedonia. So what does that mean? Your circumstances do not define you. Circumstances do not define you as men. What defines you then? Your ambition, and we're going to get to the virtues, which define you as a man. So we're going to put an action here, I think. Write down one goal that's big right now and maybe comment on what it's going to be, whether it's starting a business or maybe it's setting the goals in the gym of hitting the weights and gaining 5 pounds this year, and you're going to go and be disciplined and go 3 times a week. And take one step toward whatever goal you write down. So there's a plethora of goals you can write down. Just pick a big goal that you have doubts about, that's big, write it down. And another thing about the horse, he didn't wait for his father or someone to give him permission, right? He just started. Sometimes you just have to get going and start. Lesson number 2, courage. We talk about courage a lot. Churchill talked about it. I think it's incredibly important, Churchill did, lead from the front. What does ambition need to go along with it? It needs courage, right? Without courage, you're not going to be able to do much. You got to take action with courage. So Alexander was not the kind of king who hid behind the army. He did what? And we always talk about these kinds of men. He led from the front with his sword in hand. So, Battle of Granicus, his first big victory against the Persians, major victory. He was young, faced a Persian army across a muddy river. Their cavalry lines were steep, and they were ready to slaughter anybody who crossed. Now, what did his generals tell him? His generals urged caution. They said, wait for better ground, Alexander. But Alexander, he seized the moment, and he's going to seize the moment. He charges into the river, white-plumed helmet, a beacon for his men. Persian arrows rain down, a sword splits his helmet. Did he stop? Did he quit or did he go on? No, he fights on, cutting through enemy ranks, rallying the Macedonians to follow. Plutarch has this quote. He was always more forward to expose himself to danger than his soldiers. And by his contempt of danger, he inspired them with courage. That's a leader too, right? That's also leadership, but we're not talking about that. But that's magnificent leadership, right? Going before your men, leading from the front. So there's a lot of lessons in this. Persians, what did they do? They broke, and Granicus was his. By the way, if I get any pronunciations wrong, I read things, so I may. That victory, though, did what? It opened Asia to Alexander. And it proved to his army what? They could win, they could beat the odds, they could overcome. And that's also a confidence booster, right? You will gain confidence as you get these wins in life as men. So courage isn't recklessness. It's acting when others hesitate, right? So what could you apply that to today? Because we're trying to make this an application piece as well. You're having a tough time with your girlfriend, but you need to face or challenge her on something. That might be your action for this step. Or a friend that you need to talk about something. Or one of your employees or a business partner. Whatever it is. Whether it's, or do you need to move careers, change careers, and take a change and change jobs, right? Or do you need to start a business? What risk do you need to take? Identify and take a look at your life and then pick an area where your fears or doubts are holding you back. And this week, take action on it. Take the lead on it. Make that call. If you're in sales and you have to make calls, just get up early in the morning and do all your calls and get them done, right? Take action. And then you can inspire others by your example, and you can inspire people. Lesson number 3, resilience. We talk about this one all the time. I think it's incredibly important for men. What do you need to do? Rise after you fall. Remember Batman Begins? We'll do that sometime. Rise after you fall. And Batman, it's pick yourself back up, right? What do we do after we fall? Pick ourselves back up, right? Courage doesn't mean you're flawless. Alexander made mistakes, but his resilience teaches you can rise again, right? Now, he was at a banquet, and I don't know the pronunciation, but Maraconda. And he got angry. His temper got the best of him. He had a friend there, Cletus. And now Cletus had saved his life at Granicus, okay? This is his friend who had saved his life. Granicus was drunk, though, and he insulted Alexander the Great, and he mocked him. He mocked Alexander's claim to divinity. Angry, furious, Alexander grabbed a spear, and what did he do? He killed Cletus on the spot. The second he saw his friend dead, he collapsed in horror. Plutarch has this quote: "As soon as he saw Cletus dead, his anger vanished, and he was seized with horror, shut himself up in his tent, and lay there bewailing his friend." Now it says Alexander wept for days, refused to eat. It was nearly breaking him. But his men needed him. Now we talk a lot about friendship here at RMH. What helped him? With the help from his friends, he faced his guilt, he took responsibility, and he led again. Friendship. You need friends. We talk about it all the time. His friends brought him back. So, resilience is never pretending you're perfect, right? I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. It's owning your failures, or you can see them as just learning steps and not as failures, whichever one you want to do, and coming back stronger. So you have a slip, you have a fall, you make a mistake, you just come back, and you can come back stronger. You can learn from it, right? We're all going to mess up. I'm going to mess up. Everybody's going to mess up. The question is, are we going to stay down, or are we going to keep going, men? Are we going to get up like Alexander? So we're putting action steps in these, so let's put an action step in this. Think of a recent failure you had. And as failure, I don't like to think of as failure. We think of it as kind of learning along the way. Your temper got the best of you. You missed a shot in basketball or something. Or you let someone down in your life. Write down one lesson from that, and then one step to move forward. Don't let it define you. Get up, get back up, and move forward, and move past it. Get past it. Lesson number 4, wisdom. And I like the wisdom. Respect those who challenge you. If you want to be great, greatness is not just physical strength, right? What is it? The mind. We talk about reading and building your mind up. It's also what? Wisdom, your experiences that build you up, and your wisdom that you gather from other men and people. So Alexander just didn't conquer lands. He sought out ideas. We'll get into that in the last one. In Corinth, he met Diogenes. And he was a philosopher who lived in a tub. He didn't care about fame or wealth. And while kings and generals had bowed to Alexander, Diogenes ignored him, made Alexander contemplate and think about it. He was curious. He said, "Can I do anything for you?" Alexander asked him. He said, "Yes, stand a little out of my sun." Isn't that an amazing quote? Alexander said, "But truly, if I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes." That's a pretty great quote. So instead of getting mad, what did Alexander do? He admired his independence of the other man. Now this is huge. So if you can be secure in yourself and your manhood and your power and respect those who challenge you, he was, and that can sharpen your mind, right? Other men can make you better. I love listening to all the great men in the groups. They're fantastic and outstanding men. I love just sitting there and listening to them sometimes because they can make you better, right? Other great men will make you better. So surround yourself with sharp people who don't just agree with you, but challenge you a little bit, right? May have a different perspective. They can share your same values, but they might disagree on tactics or strategy or whatever else. So, in your brotherhood, your fellowship, you want similar values, but you can still have different opinions and clash on that and make each other sharper. Iron sharpens iron, right? So, find men that push you to think deeper, I guess is the point. Get around great thinkers and challenge them, let them challenge you, and then you can think deeper. So, this week, what could be an action step that we could do? You could go out and talk to someone, a mentor, a friend. Have a deep conversation with them, maybe with even a good cigar, right? We love cigars here. But talk to someone that may not see strategy, tactics the same as you, or the same policy that you want implemented, or whatever it is, but someone with a different perspective that will challenge you mentally. And ask them a question so you can learn from them. And I like to ask a lot of questions when I go in cigar bars and every other places and ask people what they're thinking. So I think a good general rule is to always be asking good questions. Lesson number 5, last one. What do you think it is? Discipline. Master yourself first, What happens? Ambition, courage, resilience, wisdom. None of it will work well without discipline, right? Discipline, I really believe, is a key. Alexander just didn't start out ready to be the man he was, right? What happened? As a teenager, he had been tutored by whom? The great Aristotle. So that was one of history's greatest minds, and I should be doing Aristotle ethics. But in that book, Aristotle's going through the virtues, and we always talk about this and the mean between them and all that, and he gets in a lot. We're not going to do that today. But virtues, courage, wisdom, he goes into these virtues and how you need to develop and reach excellence. Alexander reached excellence. Of course, he was taught by Aristotle, who believed in reaching excellence. He learned science, strategy, and he also was doing what? Training his body, right? So I'm always talking about you should go read books, but I also go to the gym and hit the weights and hit the heavy weights. Here's a quote. He was brought up under the care of Aristotle and was trained in all the exercises and arts which were proper to form a what? A great prince. He was temperate in his diet and moderate in his pleasures. And I think those are a key, right? Because where are you putting your time and energy, right? If you're putting into reading good books that make you sharper and hanging around great men who make you sharper, you're developing, right? If you're going to the gym and building your body, you're ready. So what did that do? Discipline led him to what? Be able to outsmart Persian generals at a very young age and endure years of war. So discipline is a foundation, I think. I really do believe that. It's what separates what? People who are just dreaming and doing, right? So whether you're going to hit the gym or just cut down time on your phone or whatever your distractions are, I don't know what they are. But you have to do what? We always talk about this. Master yourself to master your environment, your community, to master the world. So pick one daily habit, and I'm going to recommend one. Not a lot of people are reading books now, and I think it's very important, especially with AI coming on and everything. So I like to read good books. What if you picked 10 minutes of reading a good book every day? And then in a month from now, you added it 20 minutes a day. Think of where you could be in 5 years. If you read 10, 20 minutes a day, you'll be ahead of most people. Most people don't read one book a year. So stick to it for 30 days, or maybe it's cutting out screen time for reading or going to the gym or whatever your goal is. Whatever you wrote down and whatever your goal is, you can set aside 10 minutes for it a day, right? And then you can build your community, your empire, whatever you're building, you can build something and have an impact and make a difference. We still talk about Alexander the Great today. He died at a young age, I believe around 32 years old. But he dreamed bigger, fought harder, risked his life, led from the front, and he rose stronger than anyone before him. So he tamed that horse. He mourned Cletus. He learned from Diogenes. He also had learned from Aristotle. But he showed us what a man can be, right? Ambitious, courageous, resilient, wise, and disciplined. So what's your dream? What are your goals? What is your empire going to be? It might be friendships, your family you're developing, the business you're developing, your career, your community. The question is, will you build it? So pick one of these lessons from today. Ambition, courage, resilience, wisdom, discipline, work on that. And comment below, what's your inspired goal? Maybe it's launching a project, facing a fear, facing your doubts, owning a mistake. And take one step this week and share your progress right here. You can tell us in the comments. So, if you like the subject or you want to be a part of this community, subscribe, hit the notification button, like. That helps us share it around. Thank you.